Food is another facet of culture that shows us the true personality of each different country, and Korea is no exception. The ingredients of all the foods that appear on our table are natural goods that have grown instilled with the spirit of nature. The mountains, fields, and sea. Korean food made with ingredients that have grown out of nature with all the mysteries of it enveloped together have their own unique taste and flavor. There is another secret that is hidden in all this, and we call it the restorative diet that functions to protect the body. The restorative diet, what is the mysterious secret that is hidden in it? Koreans have been consuming a wide variety of foods in the basic form of the staple food rice with accompanying dishes. We have been true to the old saying that there is no better medicine than rice, and have regarded food as an equal to medicines that are good for the body. We have been making and eating food with various ingredients known for their good effects on the body.
약과 음식과의 상호관계는 아주 밀접합니다. 그래서 이 동양의학에서는 식약 동원이라고 그러죠. 그러니까 음식과 약은 그 원료는 같다는 얘기를 해요. 단지 약의 기운보다 그 좀 약한 거, 또 조리 과정에서 우리가 약하게 할 수 있는 것, 그런 걸 우리가 이제 음식으로 이제 쓰고 있는데, 특히 보양식이라고 하는 거는 쉽게 얘기하면 영양을 도와줄 수 있는 어떤 그 음식물이 뭔가를 찾는 어떤 노력이라고 봐야죠.
Our health lies in what we eat. However, there is no one type of food that is good for all types of people. One man's wine can be another man's poison, depending on the character of the person involved. This relationship between metabolism and food is based on the Umyang principle, which was first explained in Hwangjae-Kyung, the ancient Chinese medical text. The Sasang Metabolic Medicinal Guide, which is a Korean standard for categorizing human metabolism, was first formed by the Korean scholar Lee Jae-ma. According to his writings, Dongyi Susebowon, the Sasang Metabolic Medicinal Guide categorizes the human constitution into 4 types, namely Taeyang, Taeum, Soyang, and Soum, depending on stature, personality, and the condition of the internal organs.
사상의학은 동무 이재마 선생에 의해서 창안된 민족의학이죠. 그래서 그거는 인간의 체질, 즉 태양, 소양, 태음, 소음인 4가지 체질로 이제 나눠지고 체질간에 따른 장부 기능의 차이가 생깁니다. 그래서 그 사람의 어떤 건강 척도도 각 사상인이 가지고 있는 장부 생리의 그 기운의 차이에 의해서 어떤 병리적인 현상으로 나타나죠. 그래서 치료법도 그 사람들이 갖고 있는 그 부족분, 생리 기능상에서 나타나는 각 체질의 부족분을 보충해 주는 쪽으로 우리가 치료해 주는 체질 의학 개념입니다.
According to this theory, the Taeyang person has large lungs, a small liver, a large head, and a narrow waist, whereas the Taeum person has small lungs, a large liver, a small head, and a thick waist. The Taeyang person, who has a relatively large build, has a violent personality and is prone to weakness in the liver. The Taeum person has a thick waist, a lower body that is more developed than the upper, and a lot of patience. The Soyang person has a large stomach and kidneys, and thus a well-developed trunk. On the other hand, the Soum person, who has a small stomach and large kidneys, tends to have hips that are large compared to the upper body. The Soyang person is either of average build or on the thin side, and personality-wise, he or she is jovial yet sensitive. The Soum person, who has a slight build and shorter than average height, has a docile and quiet personality. In Oriental medicine, prescriptions are based on this sasang constitutional medicinal principle, and the kind of food that is good for the body differs with each person's makeup.
소음인이나 태음인 같은 경우 음인 체질에서의 그 약이나 음식은 되게 따뜻한 기운을 갖고 있는 음식이나 약재를 쓰고 있어요. 또 소양인이나 태양인 같은 데서는 한량한 그 기운이 좀 차다 덥다 이런 표현을 하는데 한량한 기운을 가진 그 음식이나 약을 쓰고 있어요.
Meat, which can be classified as a warm food, is suitable for Teum and Soum persons. And cool foods, such as clams, shrimps, and lotus roots, are good for both Taeyang and Soyang persons. And one food that is known to be good for the body, regardless of one's characteristics, is ginseng. Korean ginseng, acknowledged as the best quality ginseng in the world, is a restorative food that aids rapid recovery from fatigue and revives drained inner energy, or gi. In Bancho Kangmak, a record of various diseases and their secret prescriptions by E. C. Jin, describes in detail, with illustrations, the wonderful effects of ginseng.
인삼은 보면은 그 약효 중에서 가장 우리가 흔히 많이 느끼는 게 어떤 스트레스라든지 또 그 뭐랄까 몸이 허약한 사람, 양기를 북돋을 수 있는 사람도 되겠고 또 고혈압이라든지 우울증 환자한테 좋다고 많이 이제 알려져 있죠. 그리고 또 가장 이제 피부 미용적으로 피부를 맑고 투명하게 해주고 윤택나게 그다음에 건조하는 이런 것을 방지해 준다고 해서 미용식으로도 애용을 많이 하고 있습니다.
Thanks to the strengths of ginseng, many different dishes using ginseng have been developed long ago. Among them is samgyetang, a Korean-style chicken in broth that is most popular with the Koreans. The main ingredients of samgyetang are a young chicken, glutinous rice, ginseng, and dates. To make this dish, you begin preparations by stuffing the chicken with water-soaked glutinous rice, dates, chestnut, ginseng, and garlic. Pour in enough water to submerge the whole chicken and then boil. Dates are rich in iron and thus good for anemia. Samgyetang is a popular dish in the summer when the body is prone to feel empty and lethargic. Besides samgyetang, ginseng is used in many other dishes and also drunk as a tea. Moving on from the land to the river, which fish among the freshwater fish do you think is good for the body? It is by far the majestic carp. In the Gyuhab series, which was the recipe book for the aristocratic ladies of the Chosun dynasty, the carp is compared to the dragon and recorded as a divine being. Long ago, people were not even allowed to fish for carp. There are many delicacies using the mysterious effects of the carp, and they include carp soup, carp stew, and yeongbang tang, made with carp and young chickens. Among these, let's try making carp stew. Besides the carp, the use of ginseng, ginkgo, dropwort, and nutari mushrooms are but some of the ingredients. First of all, fill the pot with water and radish and place in the carp. Into this, we add the dropwort and ginkgo, which are good for the digestive organs and intestines. Then, season with all the spices commonly used in Korean cooking, including red pepper powder and garlic. Ginseng heightens the effects of the stew. The carp aids growth and development and strengthens weak metabolisms. It is also quite an effective diuretic.
잉어로서 이제 우리가 많이 활용을 하고 있는 게 산후조리를 하고 나서 이제 잉어탕이라든지 또 이게 잉어 자체가 굉장히 물이 찬 데서 많이 크고 반대로 역류한다고 하거든요. 그 활발하게 움직인다는 이런 그게 있어가지고 그 정력이라든지 병우라든지 그 다음에 영양 보충하는 데는 가장 좋은 걸로 알고 있습니다.
Besides the carp and ginseng recipes, the restorative diet which protects the body is at work in many of the dishes that we commonly enjoy. The lotus root clears the blood and helps blood circulation. The lotus root, which is in season during spring and fall, can be conveniently pan-fried or boiled at home. Another root vegetable which is regarded as a healthy food is dodok. Dodok, which literally and figuratively has its roots in Korea, has been enjoyed since long ago for its taste. It is also used as an herb in Oriental medicine. It works to protect the stomach and to detoxicate. A common dish made with dodok is roast dodok. The dodok is mixed with plenty of red pepper paste and then roasted thoroughly in a pan. Besides this delicious variety, there is also pickled dodok, cold dodok soup, and many other dishes to enjoy. For a long time, bean sprouts have been one of the favorite foods of Koreans. Despite the fact that they grow on just water, these yellow-headed things have been regarded as an inexpensive source of nutrition. They are beneficial to people suffering from heat stroke or the flu. It also facilitates the digestive organs. After a night of heavy drinking, having bean sprout soup in the morning helps replenish the vitamins that have become insufficient due to the alcohol. Bean sprout soup with rice is a favorite among drinkers. Add water, uncooked rice, bean sprouts, an egg, and seasonings in an earthen pot and boil. You can enjoy a hot and refreshing flavor as the bean sprouts give the soup a refreshing taste. The scallion is a vegetable that has a strong fragrance. The scallion, commonly used in kimchi or pancakes, is another restorative food worth mentioning. The scallion is effective in increasing stamina and is thus a forbidden food in Buddhism. It also works to staunch blood and kill germs. Among the many dishes that can be made with scallions, let's look at rice pancakes with scallions. First, mix red pepper powder and red pepper paste with flour. Then, mince the scallion, put it in the dough and mix thoroughly. Heat the oil in a pan and then fry the dough in small pieces about the size of your palm. This particular rice cake recipe eliminates the spicy tang of the scallions and makes for an easy and enjoyable meal. In a traditional Korean set menu, each dish was part of the restorative diet. The properties of each food, together with the recipe, have been retained and handed down from generation to generation. Some examples are bean curd sobagi, good for the stomach; steamed rolls with radish, effective in removing phlegm; thinly sliced fried beef patties; bellflowers in sweet and sour sauce, which clears the blood; potatoes boiled in spices, which help digestion; and steamed croaker, which revitalizes the body. In the sea, which surrounds the Korean peninsula, is the food which contains the spirit and mysteries of the sea. On our dining tables, the two combine to produce an exotic part of the restorative diet. Among these delicacies, the abalone is known as one of the symbols of eternal youth and longevity.
전복은 우리가 고단백 식품으로서 영양가가 월등히 높습니다. 그래서 성장기에 있는 어린이들한테라든지 그다음에 병우 회복기에 노인들한테도 그렇고요. 회복기에 있는 그 환자들한테는 가장 대표적으로 이제 죽이라든지 그다음에 전복을 푹 구워서 탕 형식으로 해서 드시게 하는 방법이 있고, 또 성장기에 있는 어린이들한테도 소화라든지 이런 게 좀 만들고 전복을 아주 곱게 다져서 이제 섭 형식으로 해주기도 하고요. 국으로도 많이 이용을 하면 되겠고.
The abalone is usually prepared as a porridge with glutinous rice and pine mushrooms. Abalone porridge is a health food that is popular with both the young and the old. The porridge is made by first cutting washed and boiled abalone into thin slices. Then pour plenty of water into a pot with pre-soaked glutinous rice and mix this with sesame oil, the prepared abalone, and pine mushrooms. Abalone is low in fat and high in protein, and is highly recommended as a health food for the middle-aged. Another seafood in the restorative diet that cannot be left out is the oyster. It is often prepared as a porridge with pine mushrooms and beef. This is called mushroom and oyster porridge. First place the vegetables to boil, and then add the glutinous rice, oysters, and mushrooms. Porridge is easier to digest than rice alone, and also easier to swallow. Therefore, many different recipes for porridge have been developed. Mushroom and oyster porridge and abalone porridge have been well loved over the years as health foods that are particularly good for liver disorders. The herbs that are used in Oriental medicine: licorice, dangui, and bekmelyak, especially have been widely used as ingredients not only in medicine but in recipes as well. These herbs have been important ingredients in the restorative diet for years. One of the delicious favorites using herbs is the alcoholic beverage. From long ago, Koreans have regarded wine not as a table luxury, but a type of food. Every home made its own wine using fruits or vegetables of the season, and the taste differed from house to house, even when all of the households use the same ingredients. This custom of homemade wine has been a unique tradition of Korea. Homemade wines using herbs that replenish ki and strengthen the body are called yaksul, meaning medicinal wine. The herb used in the wine will emit its unique taste and flavor after a period of fermentation and retain its merits for a lengthy time. Our ancestors would keep their homemade medicinal wines over long periods, drinking it a little at a time, enjoying the effects of the herbs they contained. According to Jibang Yulsol, written by Yi Sugwang, those who drink the medicinal wine made with the Chinese matrimonial vine live to be 300 years old. That is how strongly our ancestors believed in the virtues of this wine.
그러니까 약식주 동원이라서 음식과 술이 적당히만 먹으면 약이 된다는 그러한 생각을 가졌거든요. 그래서 항상 예전에 그 책을 보더라도 음식 요리 책에 같이 술이 항상 소개돼 있어요. 그러니까 음식같이 간도 딱 맞아야 되고요. 그래서 표현도 입에 쫙쫙 달라붙는다고 이렇게 표현을 하거든요. 그리고 또 술을 마신다라고 표현 안 하고 술을 먹는다라고 표현하고. 그러니까 음식같이 적당히만 먹으면은 몸을 해하지도 않고 또 적절하게 술로 인해서 그 우리 몸에 그 약이 되는 그러한 거로 생각했죠.
A medicinal wine popular in the winter is do soju. The herbs used in do soju are gaedare, jinpi, gepi, sancho, malt, and citron. The recipe for do soju, which is a fermented wine, is rather simple. Pour clear water into a pot and first add ground malt before adding herbs such as gaedare, jinpi, and sancho. Then add the citron, sliced with the skin intact, and then mix well before fermenting for about a week. Letting the do soju ferment a few days before the New Year and drinking on New Year's Day will hone your sense of hearing and enable you to spend a healthy, illness-free year. There are many other traditional medicinal wines, and the variety matches the number of herbs in use today. Among these, the merits of the following wines have become widely known through the generations. Jeondae Hongju, good for high blood pressure. Hyukmiju, made with brown rice. Baekhaeju, made using top quality malt. Sansechun, which facilitates digestion. And the delicious traditional medicinal wine, Hwal Inshipalbum, made by fermenting 18 herbs, including ginseng. Although wine was part of the daily lives of our ancestors, they took great care to remember that moderation was the key to good health. This wisdom can be seen in the age-old custom of sipping wine while taking leisurely walks. Eating well is as good as any medication. Shikyak Dongwon, the ancient saying meaning that food and medicine have the same origin. It also means that to Koreans, food is not just something that satisfies hungers, but a restorative that protects the body. This restorative property lies not only in rice, but in almost all the foods that we eat. And thanks to the wisdom of our ancestors who regarded food and medicine as the same thing, we have come to enjoy the benefits of herbs on our dining tables. The Korean tradition of the restorative diet. It is this diet that has been protecting the health of Koreans to this day.